What's going on, everybody? Hashtag Data Spartan back with a new video today, and I am joined by Cal Durland. She is the Agency Customer Success Director at Ivans. So Cal, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, perfect. So the topic that I wanted to cover with you super quickly is you brought up an interesting point about how agencies, they don't know what they don't know about the kinds of data that they can kind of collect and use within their company. So maybe you can kind of drill into that a little bit and give a little bit of context about what you mean specifically there.
Well, I mean, the thing that I do at Ivans, that our team does at Ivans, is we educate agents on the information they can get in their download. So download is data that is sent from the carrier to the agency. And it's exactly what the carrier has in their system that's coming down. So if an agency says it's not right, well, is the limit right? Is the deductible right? If it's not, something didn't get sold right. So you better get up to your carrier and, get it updated. So that's one thing. And on the other side of it, Ivans has a complimentary service for agents to find out what's going on with their download. And many agents don't know that it's out there, to have that conversation with our team to find out what they don't know.
Interesting. So why the disconnect today? Like in your experience, when you're speaking to these customers, where does that come from and why is this happening?
I think a lot of people from my perspective don't know that they can have a relationship with Ivans, that Ivans has got a team of 6 of us that are just there to talk to them, to just hear where their questions are. Because as you know, when you've talked to people, they sell. They don't necessarily know the data thing. They just want to have the right information so that they can then service and do what they need to do from there. So the disconnect is you got to have a little bit of a passion about that data, because you're going to find out something that maybe is valuable. Maybe you can use to cross-sell, upsell. But, data is just great to have because you can learn from it.
Yeah, exactly. So what kind of data are people missing today that you see most often that they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that?
Well, and just from a high level, eDocs and messages. So what's an eDoc? It's that electronic version of their policy deck page that could be downloaded from the carrier. Claims download data, so they can actually find out some of that information, and or just specific lines of business that maybe they didn't know the carrier added a line of business for download. That's just high level categories of things that could be missing.
Interesting. So what's your sort of recommendation on, once you've kind of identified, okay, these are the gaps, we've now gone and collected it, how do people implement it? Like, what's that next sort of step?
Well, the best thing that I'm going to just promote is that anybody contacts connections@ivans.com, and we look at their specific scenario, and then we'll show them where they're missing something. Or, in some cases they'll ask us something and we'll go, hey, we hadn't looked at it that way. And, we'll have to do some research ourselves, because sometimes we don't know, as we go to help agents. So it's just work with our team, because every agency is a little different, but usually we find something that they didn't know, and we all learn together.
Interesting. So just kind of bookend, the conversation here a bit. What is the first step to go to identify that kind of data that you are missing today? Like, what's that first rung on the ladder to identify, okay, this is the entry point to go and find that data?
Well, so the first thing we do is we get them signed into Ivans Exchange, which is a complimentary service to agents, and that's where the conversation begins. Let's see what they know or don't know, and we'll go from there. So there's no one answer for that. But then the good feedback that we get from agents, and this is probably where you guys can help a lot too, is what can the carrier get from their policy admin system? Because agents get that inconsistent experience. So, can agents work together through a group called Augie to say, hey, collaboratively, we want this data in our download because it gives us the better experience, right? Because that's one of the things that agents do say. They wish that a carrier did it the same. Every carrier seems to do some things a little bit differently.
Interesting. No, that's a really good point. So everybody watching, hope you guys got some really good value out of that. I know I definitely learned a thing or two. Thank you, Cal, for joining me. And guys, I'll catch you on the next one.